But, since we're talking about the music and what it represents, this new project was developed during this pandemic. Can you tell us about why you decided to do this project now?
It was very unexpected. This is actually the third project that I've released this year.
Wow.
I worked on a full album project that released in January, and I spent about a year and a half on it. And, funding everything myself as an independent artist, so it was a lot of work with the videos and the production and just putting everything out. And then I could not book anything. It was really, really weird. Like, this was the first time that had happened for me, and I was just like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden, Corona happens and shuts everything down. And it was almost like God was telling me, like, yeah, you need to chill for a second. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that means. And then, in the pandemic, I was kind of like, nervous about how things were going. Toward the beginning of it, everybody was like, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how to handle this. So we were all just kind of in a moment of stillness. And I worked on a small EP project that was, just some gospel songs to kind of bring myself back to center. But then I had a relationship that ended
during the pandemic.
Perfect.
In the beginning
of June. And I was like, oh, we're going to write about this person. And it just kind of like, this is the quickest album that I've ever worked on. It only took me 2 months. And yeah.
And how many tracks are there?
There are 12 songs in this album.
Wow. And you took a year and a half for the project you released in January.
Yes.
I mean, like I said to you before, when I heard it from the very beginning, I was like, oh, wait a second. I replied back to the submission immediately because I was like, wait, no, I definitely need to have this person on the show because I enjoyed the music from the beginning.
Thank you.
But okay, so let's talk about the project, KWAME. Along with this relationship that ended, what else inspired it? I know you mentioned HBO's I May Destroy. You also had a part in it.
Yeah, so the relationship that that ended, it was so okay, let me try to get this the right way. I released 2 songs. One was called Underwater and the other one was called No Pressure. Underwater was written about that person that I was in a relationship with, and that was basically me doing my good shit talking about why they hurt me and why they're trash and all that kind of stuff. But then after I took a moment to sit back and I had to understand, why did this person do me this way? And I came to the realization that they still had not embraced who they were as a young Black gay man. And so I was like, okay, I've embraced who I was years ago and did not have a problem with it, did not have to have these huge coming out parties or anything like that, and wondering why this person is still struggling with it. And because they're struggling, they're hurting me and other people in the process. So No Pressure was my way of saying, you don't have to hold this on you. I understand why you did what you did, and you don't have to hold on to this hurt, and you can let it go and become a better person. After I realized that, then the show on HBO, I May Destroy You, came out. And it dealt with a lot of the different things about assault and consent and just how we process sexual relationships, among each other. And one of the characters in the show, his name is KWAME, and he goes through his own version of assault. And it actually triggered a memory for me that I had suppressed for almost 20-something years about my assault. And again, it contributed to that idea of, why do people do the things that they do? And I just wanted to explore that musically and really try to understand, like, why do men specifically do this to other men? Whether you're gay or straight, why do we hurt each other? Why do we hurt others? And trying to really get to the bottom of those things. So these songs, this project is all about exploring those different topics that rarely get talked about. And honestly,
especially in the Black community.
Especially in the Black community, and I just really wanted to have that conversation in a way that is a little uncomfortable, but also there is healing at the end. I wanted to make sure that I didn't just hit everybody with the controversy. I wanted it to be, there to be a purpose.
Did you feel healed by the end of recording it?
Honestly, yes. I honestly did. And it's funny because the last one on the album is called A Story of Freedom. And every time I hear that song, I cry as if it's not even my story. And it just kind of lets me know, like, you went through this stuff and you not just this album process, but you went your whole life with, dealing with this stuff, putting it in the back of your mind and still moving forward. And you're okay. And that's really what I want to tell other people know is like, you know, people that are afraid to be who they are, regardless of what it is, you're still here. And that means that whatever you're dealing with, it doesn't define you. It doesn't have to kill you. It doesn't have to weaken you. It's just a part of who you are, and you're still here. So
Definitely.
that's the healing that I got from it.